Hey guys, this is Josh here with Trillium Wild Edibles, and today I want to show you guys a little bit of the wild edibles that can be found out and about during winter. Now some people are aware that there are some edible plants out during winter and others aren't. But just in case you guys are wondering what's out and about that I like to forage, I'm about to show you guys that today. Here you can see this huge cluster of wild onions, or what some people call onion grass. Now there are several varieties of wild onions, and there's also a lot of wild garlics. They all look alike and they're very easy to tell apart from each other just because of their smell. Now once I remove my hand, you may be able to see how much this blends in with the grass around it. And that's just because these are very grass-like leaves, except whenever we get up close and personal, we can see that they're a tube shape instead of being flat like grass is. And if we take one of these leaves, pluck it off, we can see how it's hollow inside. And whenever we smell this, we're going to smell either an onion or a garlic smell, and that'll give us a really good idea of what we have. Now you can also find chives growing wild as well. Now wild onions do have a very distinct look to them, and their coloration is much different than grass. As you can see, they kind of have like this bluish green color to them instead of this dull yellow green that this grass like this behind it has. Like for example, if I step back now, you may be able to see the color difference between the onions there and then the grass around it. Now one of the nice things about wild onions, garlic, and chives is that the entire plant is technically edible. As far as the wild onions, like what we have here, this very soft green part of the onion is delicious. It's very reminiscent of a green onion in taste. However, it is much smaller and they don't really require any cooking. So they're great in salads, they're great raw, they make an excellent trail nibble. They also make a really good seasoning or flavoring to put on top of meats or put in stews or gravies or on top of anything that you plan on cooking. Alright, right here you guys can see this huge carpet of emerald green across the forest floor here. All of this is chickweed. Now it hasn't flowered yet because it's way too early, but our temperatures are ranging from about 40 to 50 in the day to about 35, 40 at night. So it's a perfect time of year for this chickweed to try to grow because it thinks that spring is here. But you can see just how nice and lush and large these leaves are. And you can just pluck the tops of these off and add them to your salad or add those to those wild onions. And there are a lot of them here. Some of them are really good size, like the one you see here. And here you can see all of this chickweed growing in. And this would be very easy to gather. It would only take you a few minutes to gather enough chickweed for a small salad for 1 or 2 people. And then if we look right back over here, we can actually see some basil leaves of garlic mustard growing in. There's only a couple here, but if we look up the trail just a little bit more, we'll find some other things like curly dock leaves. Again, these can be eaten raw with your garlic mustard leaves, your chickweed leaves, and your wild onions. So you can have a really good wintertime salad just from a few leaves that you're gathering as you're walking out in your yard or your local park. And then there you guys can see all of that matte green or that emerald green back there, and a lot of that is chickweed. So you can see just how much chickweed there is growing in this time of year down on the ground. And whenever you're out and about foraging, in the winter or the early spring, you really want to be looking on the ground because that's where most of the plants you're going to be looking for are going to be. And here we can see a really nice cluster of garlic mustard growing in underneath this dead stick of some kind. So let's move that out of the way. And here you guys can see these deliciously lush leaves of garlic mustard. And there's a lot of them here. You can always tell garlic mustard because it has this very distinct cleft in the back and these very, very unique round teeth that go around the perimeter or the margin of the leaf. If we were to follow all these leaves down to the base, we would find the huge cluster which is attached to the taproot of garlic mustard. And here we can see this mass all connecting to the taproot of garlic mustard, and we can see some more starting to spread out. Now, garlic mustard is an extremely invasive and noxious weed, but it's also extremely healthy and very delicious. It makes a great salad green. It also makes a really good dressing for the salad. So let's say you're gathering those wild onions and you're gathering the chickweed and some of the curly dock. You can actually gather some of these garlic mustard greens and add those to your salad, or you can mix these with, like a vinegar and oil base, or you can mix it with a mayonnaise or any other type of condiment that you like to make a salad dressing out of. and you can use these to season up your salad dressing. I just wanted to show you this deer sign that I saw right here. This may be kind of hard to notice on camera, but you can see where the grass is matted down. However, the interesting thing is that whenever we look up here we can see this rub on the tree. Now this is what bucks do to mark their territory. It's one of the things that they do to mark their territory and to shed their antlers. You can see where he scraped all of the bark off of this tree, and then you can see the trail that he has going into the wood line there. So I thought I'd show you guys that. That's something to keep in mind in case you're interested in hunting. This lets you know that you have a pretty good idea, that you know where this guy's running. You don't know how often he's going to frequent this though. Now if we look across the trail, you can see how they're going down there, how they're just coming straight up and they're coming down using this little jaunt that they've made, going parallel or actually crisscross to this hiking trail that I'm on now. So those are just a few of the wild edibles that are available during winter. I thank you guys for coming along on this short little video. If you guys want to learn more about edible or medicinal plants, make sure to subscribe.